comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. My voice sounds a little bit deeper at the moment because I've just been fucking smashing out some fairy tales for my daughter. Just reading fucking fairy tale after fairy tale. I actually read this quote the other day from Einstein, one of my brethren. And he's like, if you want to make your kids smart, read them fairy tales. If you want to make them smarter, read them more fairy tales. I think that was from a Neil Gaiman book. Coraline or some shit like that. Or no, it was it was a Neil Gaiman book, who's also been accused by J.K. Rowling of some weird sexual shit. Not by her, but she's the only one talking about it. It's been swept under the rug. Neil Gaiman, the extremely tall, weird-looking children's author, shockingly is probably a fucking creep. Anyway, I've just been banging out the fairy tales. What have I read? Sleeping Beauty. Not a huge fan of Sleeping Beauty. Hansel and Gretel, don't mind a little bit of Hans. The Pied Piper, love me a little bit of Pied. What else? Cinderella. Yeah, Cinderella's all right. It's my daughter's, so she loves that one. What was my favorite? The Emperor's New Clothes. That was pretty good. A lot of wisdom in that. Jack and the Beanstalk. I mean, all the classics. But they're like 30 pages long. They're like the proper, not the proper versions, because in the back of this fairy tale book, they give you a history of the fairy tales. And a lot of it's by some French dude. I forget his name. And then Hans Christian Andersen does a bunch of them. And then you've got the Brothers Grimm after that. There's a little bit of history to the old fairy tales. But these are like decent ones. These aren't like Disney-fied. But the thing is, when you read fucking Sleeping Beauty, Jack and the Beanstalk, The Pied Piper, Hansel and Gretel, and Cinderella just back to back, it blows out your voice box. But these are the things you got to do. And to be fair, I don't mind having a deeper voice. It commands more respect in the workplace. We've been doing nothing at work lately. It feels like there's a big downturn coming. The grey cloud is settling in. Pretty much all construction work at the moment is just government-funded fucking projects. Feels like most of the other shit, residential and that's all fucking slowed down. And I was speaking to some guy, he reckons with these projects, they're going to be really slowing up over the next 6 to 18 months. And then what are people going to do? I tell you what, there's a few waterproofers looking around going, hey, what are we going to do? I'm not one of them because I don't give a fuck. But there's a couple of the other boys going, what if it slows right down? And I'm like, yeah, you probably should have got a skill, yeah? But the incentive is not there to get a skill. You can just jump into this unqualified general labor job and get paid very good money with no skills, or you can do an apprenticeship to gain the skills necessary to eventually earn the amount of money you could earn as an unskilled laborer. So that doesn't really make any sense, does it? You can earn like $12 an hour doing an apprenticeship to eventually earn the same amount as me. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. I'm enjoying getting off a little bit early, getting the potty done early. I'm going to go for a workout too. But before all that, you know what time it is. It's Ask Boyle time. So if you have a question you would like answered by one of the greatest minds of the generation or any generation that has ever existed on this planet or any other planet, comedian, probably soon to be ex-waterproofer, crane operator, philosopher. Maybe I'll go full-time philosopher. My wife will be like, how much does that pay? I'm like, it's philosophy, babe. You got to make it to the top first. She'll be like, didn't you say that about comedy? I'm like, hey, don't crush my dreams. Anyway, where was I? Head to my website, boylecomedy.com. There's a section there for Ask Boyle. Put in your dates while you're there. Fucked up Friday stories. Send them in, get them in. Do everything you need to do at the website. It's boylecomedy.com. Anyway, let's get to this week's Ask Boyle. So this week's Ask Boyle was sent in by my man fucking Bazza. And here's his question. I was heartened to hear on a recent potty that you've leaned into vegetarianism a little more. Can I ask why you are leaning in that direction? Is it the discovery of a moral blind spot in terms of how we treat animals? Or is it based on perceived Boyle body benefit? I'm just wondering if your ever examined life pushes you down the ethical direction on these matters. Big bad bustling Bazza. You have come to the right place. For starters, what fucking vegan or vegetarian's name is ever Bazza? Bazza is a fucking T-bone eating, lard guzzling, bacon eating fucking lad. But you must be one of the exceptions. So I wouldn't say I've leaned in. I have a little bit. Like my lunches are now vegetarian. I don't eat meat for breakfast. I have a little bit of milk for breakfast though, with my protein shake. And then usually I do eat meat at night. I would say 5 nights a week, but I can back that off. So I suppose I am leaning into it a little bit, but it has been something I've always been interested in just because, well, morally, definitely. Like I've watched all those documentaries and corporate industrial food complex is fucking disgusting. Like the way we raise the animal, like it's brutal. Yeah, there's massive moral issues. I don't even fucking kill cockroaches in my own house. The house is full of cockroaches and spiders, daddy long legs, and these ugly fucking cockroaches because I don't want to kill them. And yet I'm happy to fucking down a fucking delicious grass-fed rump steak cooked in a little bit of fucking ghee, crispy on the outside, rare in the middle, a bit of Celtic salt on top, a little bit of pepper, sometimes some mustard, sometimes not, depending how well I cooked it. I'm happy to eat that, but I'm scared to kill the cockroaches for ethical reasons. So yeah, the industrial farming is hugely fucked up and I really would rather not participate in that. I buy mainly organic now as well, even though when the bullet goes into the cow's head, it doesn't really matter that much. I suppose it's lived a better life out in the paddock eating grass than fucking chained up in a shed eating fucking cow shit. But still, the bullet does go into its head. And I really don't have too much of an issue with people eating meat if they like hunt it and kill it themselves. No, I actually don't have a problem with people eating meat at all. Otherwise, I'd be a fucking giant hypocrite. But for me, there is a guilt because I would be unwilling to kill the animal myself and eat it. If you gave me a gun and told me to shoot the cow, I wouldn't do it. There's no fucking way. So there's that. That's part of it. The other part of it is I've sort of found a little bit of a combination of food that allows you to get enough protein into each meal without having a animal source. You can have hemp seed. I love hemp seed. Beans. You've got lentils. You've got quinoa. And I know that sounds extraordinarily gay, but when you mix that all together and you get a really good fucking olive oil together and a little bit of apple cider fucking vinegar You feel good and you feel light and it tastes delicious. And you're like, yeah, I could just eat that. And then you go to like a buffet where Asians go to. And after eating, you feel like you're in a coma for about 2 days. And you're like, all right, what's going on here? Does it have anything to do with the food I'm eating? So a little bit has to do with how I feel. No, also that's a big part of it. And well, it hasn't showed up in the rig yet. So the rig has nothing to do with it because I'm eating a lot of cashew nuts and some other bullshit. So the rig's sloppy, but I'm also not exercising. So that can't be part of the reason. It's not a rig benefit at the moment. I would say it would be a combination of the moral side of it, the ethics behind industrial farming, and just generally feeling better eating less meat. And I know people say like, yeah, well, we ate meat when we were evolving and all that sort of stuff. And I've thought about that too. I'm like, all right, we did eat meat. That's how our stomach got shorter because we didn't have to process it because we started cooking meat and whatever. But like, were we eating 2 full chickens a day? Like, were we eating 14 eggs just to get the protein in? Like, do you know how much food like a 20 people tribe in the Amazonian jungle would need if everyone's eating 3 supermarket chickens? It's like 60 chickens a day. I think we're eating a little too much meat. I think back in the day we were eating maybe meat once, twice a week, every few days when you caught something. And you would just fucking bite into its testicle and that would be the end of it. Your dad would smash you over the head with a club because the testicles taste the best and you stole it. But I don't think we were eating as much meat as we currently are. You know what I mean? I think it's just an overload. And I feel it. I like eating a little bit more vegetarian now. Although I still eat meat, so I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm speaking like I'm one of the most moral, ethical characters on the face of the earth. Like, I'm going to eat meat tonight. But now that I say it, maybe I'll wean it back. If I can eat meat 3 times a week, that would be good for me now. I don't know if I can peel it back any further at this stage, but I'm definitely saving some more animals at the moment. And I'm also trying to eat less portion size as well. Anyway, I hope you realize how moral and understanding I am and what a kind heart I have. My wife doesn't think so because the place is covered in spiders and cockroaches. Let the spiders do the killing. That's what I say. Anyway, thanks for the question. That'll do for today and I'll see you the fuck later.